welcome to Mayowa's world. So this video is going to be, I don't want to say graphic because I'm not going to go into details, but it's going to be intense. So I'm trying to document everything going on in my life because there's a lot of things going on in my life. And I made a video like a few weeks ago talking about how I felt like I kept trying to stand up and life was just like knocking me down, and how I had to kind of come to terms that maybe I'm just supposed to stay down while these life beatings are happening. And then like I'm actually physically down now because I had to undergo vaginal surgery. Thought I was gonna like wait maybe 3 minutes into the video to then say that, but yeah, and that whole process has been just wild. So I had a Bartholin cyst on my vagina, and within the matter of like 2 days it just got infected and it swole up, like, and it was the worst pain, like one of the worst pains I've ever experienced. I have a really high tolerance sometimes, so anytime I feel like I am getting like, I don't know, ill or something, I'm like, are you just overreacting? And so I wasn't sure if it was like, I don't know, I wasn't sure, period. And I think like I have a lot of fear of medical industries like here in Germany because it's just hard to like not see yourself represented in your doctors and your gynecologists and all of that. So I try to like, I don't know, wait until I think it's severe before I go to an emergency room. But at this point it was like super severe and I was having a fever. Mind you, I didn't even know I was having a fever. Someone I was with was like, you're really hot. And I was like, no, like I'm good. Like I'm not hot. But I actually was hot. I had a fever and I went to the emergency room, and I don't want to get into like all the graphic details of it because I would rather wait until my healing process is done and then look back and talk about it. So I'll just like start from like how I'm feeling since the surgery. I had to go under anesthetics. And anesthetics, is that right? Anesthetics. I had to go under anesthesia. I had to go under anesthesia, and that process was like, I don't know, weird because I went in with like an IV on like one hand, and I went under anesthesia, and it was only supposed to last like 15 minutes, the anesthesia, but ended up lasting an hour, I think, because it took so much to sedate me, because this is just always the thing, like, I don't know, it just takes a lot to like knock me out, to be honest. So I ended up sleeping for an hour, and I woke up really like, and I was like, you know, I felt really like I wanted to just get out of there ASAP. The procedure itself only lasts 15 minutes. I'm not even gonna go into details of what the procedure is because it's fucking just but my doctor was like, when she saw me and I had my fever and I had like this infection, she was like, the pain you're feeling right now, like nothing will top that pain. So like anything you have after that is gonna be like a lot easier than what you're experiencing. And she like low-key was right. And I feel like the first day when I got out of the hospital, I think I was just like in disbelief because I was like, wow, sis, like one day ago you were like literally twerking outside, like living your best life, and then the next day you like can't walk and you're super sick, and then the next day you're in the emergency room. And the crazy part that's just like, I don't know, very typical of me was like, even with like my fever and stuff, before I had gone to the emergency room, I like performed stand-up and like I couldn't walk, so like I had like someone escort me to the front, and I just got up and I told my jokes and I went home in a cab, and I was just like, you were clearly like ill. And I don't know, I guess it's just like the inner workaholic that's just like, no, it's okay, just keep going, da da da. And so the first day I was like in total shock, and the second day, you know, I think a lot of times, like when really severe things happen, like my first default is like jokes and stuff. So I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have such good material. Like I can't wait to like hit the stage. And like I had even booked myself to like do stand up like 4 days after my procedure. I was like, oh, I'll be fine. I can just like go in crutches. And then like the third day hit after the surgery, and I just like felt super sad. And I was just like, okay, you know, using humor as like a coping mechanism isn't always good. And I felt really sad because I felt like my womanhood was taken away from me in some sense. I'm not equating womanhood to having a vagina, but the fact that like when I had the procedure, I couldn't walk, and it hurt to sit, and it hurt to like move, and I'm using crutches, and I have to wait 3 weeks, 3 fucking weeks of until I'm recovered. And like when I started to see that like most of my coping mechanisms require movement, and I don't really have that many coping mechanisms that don't require that, then I just felt really sad. And then I felt like my womanhood was like taken away from me in a way. And like using crutches and stuff, everyone kept coming up to me like, what happened to your legs? And I'm like, no, it's like not my legs, it's my fucking vagina. And people's responses, you know, because I'm not gonna like lie. I think that's also shameful, and it's like this really hard space because it feels like you're supposed to just stay in forever and not be seen in this time, and not speak about this, and like make up excuses as to why like you can't walk, or you don't feel good, or you just like feel sad about just who you are as a person, because it really fucks with your head mentally. Like I said, most of the ways that I deal with pain is like in dancing, or in twerking, or like seeing my friends, or just like walking. Like I'm a very physical person, so not having physicality has been really tough. And I don't know, like day 3, I was really like looking at myself, and I was just like, I don't know, I couldn't keep making jokes, you know, and I was like, oh, this is horrible. And then people keep saying like, are you okay? And like the answer is no, you know, like the answer is no, I'm not okay. Like I'm thankful I'm alive. I'm thankful it wasn't anything like super, I don't know, dangerous that could have killed me immediately. The cyst was attacking my immune system, so I had like an increase of white blood cells, and like it was fucking up my whole body, and the infection was, and yeah, that's not okay, you know. And I just think it's kind of ironic, because I literally made a video and I was like, oh yeah, life keeps punching me down, and I keep trying to get up, and then now like on top of all that other stuff, now like I can't move, so I'm really down. But I don't know, I'm trying to like find things that make me feel beautiful for myself, because I realize like your vagina is your fucking equilibrium. Like I like, since coming back and having my surgery, I'm like using crutches. And one thing I can say about myself is I have really good balance. You know, I used to do gymnastics as a kid, and like I did kickboxing. I have really good balance. Like I know my center. And I have fallen down so many times since getting this surgery, because I feel like at least for me, like my vagina centered me. So without it, I'm just like every time I'm doing anything, I'm just like, like I try to pour milk, and like I'm like leaning back. It's fucking weird. I don't understand. I don't know what it is. So I feel very uncentered. I feel very clumsy. I feel undesirable, and you know, because I feel like if you equate your, I don't know, just like going out and just like not being able to like really go out and see people, and then having people come over, but it's like kind of this, it feels like it's with pity. But that's not because of the people I'm seeing. It's like my own head being like, oh, I'm sure they're just like, oh, this poor bitch and her like vagina, you know. So it's been hard. It's been really hard. I went to get a manicure. I like never do that. I was like, yeah, let me get my nails done. Like maybe I'll feel a little bit better. And I did actually. And then today I was like, oh, why don't you play around with like every makeup that you had? Just put it on your face. Yeah, put it on. I was like putting on layers of like shit and being, oh, I like these colors, and then like taking selfies, which was actually fun while listening to Nicki Minaj's Pink Print album, which is funny because like that album to me is like an album I listen to when I'm going through like a horrible time, or like I don't know, not horrible, but just like it's a really like I like it because it's sad but like aggressive, and I'm like, ooh, that's me. So I've been listening to that. And everyone's like, all my friends are like, why don't you just like relax? But like, when in the history of like relaxation has anyone relaxed when you tell them to relax? Like, it's just not like, I'm just not like, it's not me. You know what I mean? Like, I have to either like go through it in my own process and like deal with it my own way, or like there's no, you know, like I have to just be myself. I don't want to like be pretending to be like a Zen bitch when like that's not me, you know? I have to do what feels right for myself. And you know, hot girl summer that I was like trying to live, I guess we're postponing it. You know, but the one thing that I'm happy about, which I know is horrible, but like when I had the surgery the next day, like the weather's been really shit in Berlin, and I'm kind of like, good. Like if I'm not living my best life, none of you are living your best life. So, yeah, it was tough, and it's scary. It's also scary going through such a serious procedure without any family here, because I don't need to even explain why that would be hard, but it's just intimidating. And like I said, seeing gynecologists who don't look like you, and being in a hospital where no one looks like you, and the language barrier, and me trying to articulate to my night nurse in German, and then she's getting upset because my German's not good enough, and it's like all that stuff is like super exhausting. But I'll get more into like the actual surgery in another video if y'all even want to hear about that, because that shit was just what else have I been feeling? I don't know. I think every day my emotions like change a lot. Like yesterday I was feeling so sad. I was feeling so pensive and so insecure. And then today I wasn't feeling so sad. I was like, oh, makeup. And then tomorrow, like, I don't know. But I like I said, I really would like to document this, because I don't know, maybe when I'm 50 or something, I'll look back and say like, oh wow, that year, 2019, bro. 2019 was rough. Or I don't know, maybe it's helpful to other people. I think something I seriously want to stop is like this feeling that you can't talk about your vagina, and you can't talk about the struggles that you're going through because you have a vagina. This is like so stupid, especially because of how severe and isolating these events can be. And I don't know, and then you feel like, oh, if I share it, people are going to think, I don't know, you have these insecurities, people are going to think I'm just a whore, which I know is so stupid, because I even embrace that word, like call me a whore, I'm all about that life, you know what I mean? But even with like claiming that word, you still have these like subconscious thoughts that like, I don't know, people will judge your lifestyle and say you deserved it. And I know it's totally not true, because this isn't something, this is like Bartholin cysts happen to like 60 or 70% of all women, and I wonder how many people end up getting procedures or just having vaginal surgeries or having cysts on their ovaries, all these like really painful things that just should be super normalized. People should know what it is. People should know if it's happening to them. I am a pretty vocal person, so I was asking around, I was looking at blogs, you know, I was aware. And I couldn't imagine if someone wasn't aware, and if you're trying to ask your friends and your friends are like judging you for it, and like all of that shame that you're just naturally always feeling about having just any kind of genital problems, you know? And yeah, I feel for anyone who's had anything like this, anything related to their private parts, even like just anything. Let me not even call it private parts, because I think the word private parts assumes that it's like, I don't know, shame a bit, like private. It's not private, everyone has it, right? But like your genitals, it's like just, oh, it's scary. And like, I can't even process what the procedure was. Like when she told me, I was like, oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you. I am dissociating from this reality, because that just sounds horrible. And like, after I had the surgery, I had crazy night terrors from the anesthesia. I was having like dreams where I was like, things were on my face. It was so creepy. And I would like to know if any of y'all have had this procedure, and I feel for anyone who has been through anything intimate with your genitals. And I hope to keep talking about it. I hope that I have the courage to keep speaking my truth, no matter how uncomfortable and embarrassing it feels. Because, like I said, I really think if I didn't have such like nice people in my comment sections, like writing that they can relate, I probably wouldn't be sharing these kind of things. But y'all be fucking with me, so like I be fucking with y'all back. And you know what I'm saying, if y'all like this video and you want to give it a thumbs up and you want to give it like leave a comment, and you want to like wish all the healing powers upon my pussy, I would really appreciate that. But yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Cheers.